Dear CC, I mean, dear YouTube and F.C.C. There is there are a whole bunch of people in the Demoro family and a Mendez family and people associated with them recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering acts with locations next to Fox Connecticut News, next to WFSB, and on off their locations. Those are Connecticut News companies. And with WTNH, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with further child abusers tied to a principal sex offenders campus near me, where they first forced that with racketeering acts against me and other attaching kids to fake locations, their families to fake words, fake ties to other people. These are female judges and our female prosecutors and a whole bunch of people tied to and as former director of the F.B.I. Robert Luskin, former standing chairperson on the Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act, which is also involved with them with Mueller and Comey, and a whole bunch, dozens and dozens of people associated with New Britain Superior Court and with Hartford courts and with other courts that I haven't been into. Other Connecticut courts also, like I was watched a case in a Connecticut District Court case. People friendly to both the plaintiffs and the defendants. Federal criminal code defendants, a former director of the FBI, had a daughter and have kids that they're associated from my school when I was a kid that are further involved with them then and now with racketeering acts on off Fox Connecticut News, on off the buildings next to them. They're involved with many natures of racketeering, including medical, including sexual, where they have that involved with the principal sex offenders campus. They were also then and now further involved with racketeering with other sex offenders campus, involved with them on and off the town library in Weathersfield. Also, their relationships with nations like Afghanistan here and there connected with Trinity College and with CCSU recorded, confessed, and demonstrated having been used criminally from off the campuses by judges and by their family members and by prosecutors and by their family members and by police forms and their family members involved with this, also with foreign and domestic families, shared policing on and off my training of policing interbranch and their family members. Now, these are women judges and our women prosecutors and our women state's attorneys, even women victims advocates involved with the racketeering that is with positive and negative in relationship to their abuses of kids. We've had women roles with the sex offenders on the sex offender registry, including the principal sex offender that forced that then and further. Now they are preventing means to counter this because they attach. If you call up to a report, them recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with worse than they put the principal sex offender then and now in jail for. They also hid confessions tied to that, were actually recorded. They're lying about what is actually recorded online. They have people that went through whole careers associated with AT&T and involved with Washington, D.C., and with these courts involved. They're sick. They can't defend themselves. They're victim predators. They have physical delusion. They have physical delusions, raw, criminally foreign influence, premises treatments, sequence treatments every time they speak, including the politicians, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved with the racketeering, also with the narratives about what's positive, what's economically viable, what's good for what people want to advertise behind or not. It's all right if they want to not advertise there. Don't take away the people's channel and give an excuse for that, because also you guys are preventing mandated law. You have the advertisement companies also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with that human trafficking acts, which is what WFSB committed with a principal sex offender when they were forcing it. They attached me to fake words, fake locations, fake relationships to other people. They have my new and past neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with an O'Neill woman I also never met, and their uses of their kid for crimes with child sex offenders, and their crimes with a guy with a motorcycle recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also involved with them with crimes with judges and prosecutors and courts with real estate companies, people associated with the Heather Hansen, Kerr family. and CCSU, a whole bunch of people associated with them on off CCSU from my town, interbranch, intercampuses involved with racketeering. There's a Joshua Julian further involved with them with crimes with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, with untimely deaths and their roles with overt criminal enterprises and with criminal uses of the FBI and of the CIA and of their family members associated with my area, directly and indirectly with the same house, also with extended family members, further recorded and confessed and demonstrated by a Bob Chase and stated, repeated by a Bob Chase involved with him, also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with falsified police reports, and no means to let to counter this. Who's one of the people involved with them with child sex offenders, with other natures of racketeering, and with locations as people that forced it at first their crimes. Now this is a person with a forensics lab, also with a whole. There's a forensics lab involved with them, with the people with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, also with a Fianza family on off the state judicial branch offices, on all houses on Two Rod Highway where they run into Hangdog Lane, also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering with judges and with police forms stealing my identity and with others. My town's police chief, long standing, his daughter and his extended family member of all fault. Slanders, stealing my identity roles, identity theft, frauds, racketeering roles. I never had a conversation with her in my life. A whole bunch of people tied to her pretending other too. Two Mendez police recorded, confessed, and demonstrated on and off Weathersfield Police Department, on and off the New Britain Superior Court crimes with police equipment, with a whole bunch of other police with child sex offenders, and their roles with human trafficking and racketeering with on and off Fox Connecticut news location. The locations next to them also involved with this. The owners of a Club Blue slash Club at the time, I don't know. I think now they change the name all the time. A Russian lady. It was a bunch of times. Now that those are and the clubs downtown recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with this, with a whole bunch of people tied to with Dillon family and a whole bunch of neighbors of a Allegro's Cafe, a guy who I never had a conversation with, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated also with the owners of a club associated with the child sex offenders and drug crimes with his Dillon family, with my new and past neighbors involved with them with untimely deaths, also on Trinity College. Also, the roles attaching me to a fake letter and uses of a Dr. Shub and a dean on off campuses with forging names, switching names, the dean, and his roles with confessions on and off campus racketeering with a whole bunch of people also confessed and recorded associated with a Dr. Shub of modern languages. These are also people with crimes tied to a proven sequence shift from inside the North Ninth Circuit, right next to the World Trade Center attack building, right before the attack, from inside the court post-dated document, the documents that had already been time-stamped on time inside the court. Someone post-dated them from inside the court to appear late. That proven after the Trade Center attack. That led up to a 2006 case with former director of the FBI. Three of his federal criminal code defendants and a bunch of other federal criminals associated with that case, and uses of the victim, but victim reaction, victim predator, fact treatment nature-wise, identity thefts, racketeering, and fraud-wise. The plaintiffs, one of the witness, one of the plaintiffs, people associated with the plaintiff, like for example, they dealt with the FBI before he got acted or real extortion acts. Now, those are people involved with them with a Scalora family, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by Weathersfield police, and people tied to them involved with untimely deaths, and with the principal sex offenders campus. And these were people with other natures of sexual and medical abuses of kids that like it too, like DMV, DOT. These are people associated, former director of the FBI's federal criminal co-defendants, all with the same house, further involved with the racketeering, with forensics locations in their roles and families, state police families, their family members. Now, these are all people that are preventing me free speech since I was a kid by stacking fake conversations with me, tied to people you never had a conversation with, people that you only know from times where they walked up and made statements and confessions to you. out of nowhere. Now, so we already have careers of people, what they call the intelligence community, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by CCSU, by CNN, also involved with national news, insulated, preventing people's voices. So they make allegations about what people say instead of preventing me from demonstrating. The New Britain Superior Court's Facebook page has actually recorded rape threats rolls and sexual and human trafficking acts rolls with WFSB, with agencies on off their location, foreign and domestic military on off their location involved with crimes with kids, drugs with them, make with timed uses of other natures of racketeering with and as the value of the uses of those untimely death locations, as the people with my new and past neighbors on and off Trinity College, on and off CCSU, Connected Racketeering Act, uses of the various identities of the departments with the people tied to them, like on Church Street, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with people involved with racketeering uses of WTNH, of the other Connecticut media, of how they play softball every year. Those locations also on off voting locations. So my news is more valuable than the regular news. So that they're making the wording of the online platforms, because these are also interbranch, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Facebook pages pretending to be me, with YouTube pages for pretending to be me. These are the same people with the Wethersfield police recorded lying about what is actually recorded over the phones, recorded lying about what is actually recorded over the email, with an officer Poison, with a whole bunch of other officers, with an Officer Jerry Miller, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a whole bunch of people in the Britain Superior Court, and him and a Kerr family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with people associated with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso, and judges involved with them with racketeering. I never had a class with Mike Kerr in my life. I never had. I didn't even know who he was until middle school. He made confessions about the grammar school, recorded then and further with principals involved, and a principal years ago with his daughter and a whole bunch of people tied to her daughter at CCSU, and with other colleges involved with them with racketeering, with drugs, and with mail crimes, wire crimes, drugs that are medicine racketeering with judges. I mean, with judges involved with the racketeering, with like a Leahy family, whole Leahy family involved with the triage, attached me to fake conversations with them. 3 times I got forced into a triage. 3 times they attached me to fake words, fake behavior, sequence shifts, fake ties to other people. They've been using lying in court too. Now these are prosecutors from my town. These are on and off the state judicial branch offices in my town also involved with this. On and off the state prison offices also involved with database racketeering, identity thefts, frauds, and now they have timed placements, ad placements like of an uh, uh, ILO's home services. Now they have timed ad placements. A Trantolo and Trantolo also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with various natures of judges in courts, their whole courts, their family members, their intimate ties. Are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated their police forms involved with racketeering acts with areas leading up to and in the Trade Center attack context that were simultaneously involved with them with racketeering acts and uses of their locations with their value treatments and cases and their roles with that, with their value treatments with depositions and their roles with uses of that, fake sides of a body of value discernment. They make fights between kids or fake relationships between kids, and or just real quick so they can pretend other things for all kinds of reasons, because this is a method by that. This is how they now there's some place like Cousins or something like that on Franklin Avenue. I never had anything to do with that. I walked by the door one time. There were a whole bunch of people associated with Hartford Hospital, associated with how they have private school kids involved with racketeering, with various natures of foreign and domestic doctors, with various natures of courts, drug cliques, and sexual circles that have also been involved with racketeering uses of databases at school, where they're categorically putting lies there, and they're having people spread lies in conjunction with that. Uses of their kids recorded through time. We have prosecutors with the kids further involved then and now with the principal sex offenders campus. So these are people that can't stand up and speak without, because they already painted themselves with racketeering acts into corners, fake words with me, fake natures of ties to me in the past, fake ties to me in the past that were never at all. Now, so we have criminally foreign influence, delusions, experts and experts tied to them, interbranch and tied to them private, and their roles with foreign and domestic families on and off Central Connecticut State University, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated intercities with on and off campuses locations all along the South Steen Highway, all along from Church Street in Old Weathersfield, and with that corner there, and with the house in the corner there associated with acting department, English department, with a whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with my town's police chief and his daughter further in that, and her extended and foreign family, and the male and female prosecutors with their kids involved with the school, and further police forms that are resource officers also involved with the school with the kids. They're also consciously stacking names because they had pretended me to fake locations with people that were never in my classes. They have the principals. I mean, the Weathersfield police chief daughter. I also never had a class with her, and I also never saw her around. She's also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with by people associated with this through time. These are people intercampuses stacking database in private database racketeering at the same time, lying about, or they already lied about what is recorded online. They already used Mueller and Comey for sequence shift. These are people with racketeering with the federal criminal code defendants, a former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. They also attached me to all kind of fake conversations about that with this Leahy family. And then 2 times more, I had to go back to the hospital. They asked me, they had a couple real quick, they asked me a couple questions. That's not exception, because in other words, I had no conversations at all with the Leahys ever. And now they had some other people, I don't even know who they are, and they asked me, well, so there's no way they could even make a mistake. Now there's a doctor. There are other ones too. They use a triage when they make fights where and or people ignore things. See, that's what they do. They make people ignore things because they make people speak through other people, which most people are going to ignore it, because you're not going to want to talk about all the personal things you know about people that don't even know you. Well, how do you know it's true? Because I'm speaking through them. The news attached me to fake words, fake locations. They made confessions. My new and past neighbors is also recorded true. They're also lying about what is actually recorded. There are 2 Mendez police also with the on off the Fox Connecticut News building, with a whole bunch of people with the buildings next to them involved with various natures of racketeering with these Mendez police. Attached me to fake words and putting me in quotes, and pretend with the older Mendez brother. Never had a conversation with him in my life. And now they're involved with racketeering acts like that on and off the Weathersfield Police Department, on and off New Britain Superior Court. Now, these are also people with racketeering acts with houses in my area that are Newtown, Sandy Hook, tied to this city, that are also recorded with a pattern of racketeering that hides lie progressions, intercities, and they're actually recorded needs, motivations, and actually recorded natures leading to as criminal insidious natures. So we have the Federal Trades Committee, we have the Federal Communications Commission involved with sequence drifts, and all these sick things are also as people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering acts against me and others that were in the World Trade Center attack context in Manhattan right before the attack. They showed a panel of judges papers that had been handed in on time to the Ninth Circuit Court, and it's time stamped on time. Someone insidiously from inside the Ninth Circuit post-dated those documents and presented them to the panel of judges. And they did other insidious things tied to their racketeering acts leading up to that and since. That is further recorded. And that is further intercities, intercampuses, racketeering acts tied, as the ones that are also interbranch and intermilitary involved with this. Identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering, sequence shifts. Now, this is a pattern since I was a kid, where people I barely know come up and make all these confessions and demonstrations of their roles that were then exploited in relationship to and as ones with on-off Trinity College, on-off CCSU connections to that, all long roots and time connections of it. See, now they pretend people make conspiracy theories because they're preventing people that New Britain Superior Court forges names and switches names. They have states attorneys forge names and switch names, and they had them make confessions about their roles with falsified police reports, where they confirmed awareness that Wethersfield police switched names, forged names, pretending they made mistakes, switching officers' names. After they already did that with other police reports that were falsified with other fake things. I have no criminal record. They have been trying to set me up by faking recorded things in the databases since I was little. The same interbranch sexual circles, drug clicks, identity theft clicks. Now they are with former Governor Malloy, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated on Facebook, and his roles with Facebook and with YouTube with them, preventing mandated law. His role stealing identities with them, stealing me to fake speech. They have the parent teachers organization also involved with military police with racketeering acts like an MPO Floyd, like a Justin Klovinskis, and like his wife. I believe it's his wife, Lucinda Alderuccio. I don't know. I never had a conversation with her. She's also confessed and recorded and demonstrated by him and a whole bunch of people tied to her involved with racketeering acts and roles with the police forms and military police and sheriffs and courts involved with racketeering acts leading up to and in the Trade Center attack as the ones involved. Connecticut interbranch, on off CCSU, on off Trinity College, racketeering uses of the other ages of campuses, intercities. Now, no, these are people also involved with racketeering uses of UConn since I was a child. These are connected racketeering with people associated with psychology, especially for example, we have some experts who are delusions wrought, criminally foreign influence originally and still. Identity has five identities of sequence nature that are recorded, bonded by science, that is actually discernible and actually honest. And with sequence true, because these are five identities of sequence nature, as sequence nature true before the order of matter, as sequence true as the value of the order of the finite, the smallest thing to what is grouped in active as ourselves as value, and to what is active, the order of the value of the order of the finite. Now, these are another way of looking at value, because this is the complete value, of course. What is progressive value, and then what is identities complete course. We're not as semi nature two ways, and as simultaneous nature a third way, which is in demonstration of how it is only sequence nature as simultaneous nature, and how it is as three bonded semi natures as the Trinity. But these are terms and variables of science. For example, you want to bring up the debatable. Yeah, now, I'm not being allowed to speak about the debatable because my evidences are being lied about by the courts that forge names, switch names, had their family members used, has themselves used already since they were kids. We have male and female prosecutors recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with juxtaposed natures of racketeering acts, with databases and with sequence natures, and with other people's names, with a whole bunch of strangers that were affected to roles too. Fake conversation, fake relationships to me, and semantics too. Like pretend like it's just natural. Because now I'm just walking next to someone you met, and I'm pretending to know you because I knew you because you were from my school. Now that's a girl. I never knew her. That's one of the people associated with one of the girls from my town, Wethersfield, who was involved with a whole bunch of people at Trinity College that before that in the past, as those people that I don't even know who made those confessions, as those people involved with like a girl diagonally across from one of the victims of the World Trade Center attack, who has a whole family hurt by that. And that's right around the corner from the state judicial branch offices, which is also where the Fienza family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with that area, with that location, and with on off it with others, and with people on the on off two rod highway where it runs into Hangdog Lane, involved with them with racketeering, and that's also where it runs into the Berlin Turnpike, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, involved racketeering with them also, modern languages and people associated with that, like with teaching Arabic. Now these are people on off Yale involved on and off Trinity College, on and off UConn, involved with the same natures of racketeering, uses of lawyers originally still, criminally foreign influence, delusions, raw. So if you guys are going to take my Facebook page down, at least before you do that, respond, because I've been asking for a response. They won't give me a response in writing. There's a Darren associated, a whole bunch of people associated with that, with the programs associated with courts, where they have quote experts recorded, confessed, and demonstrated further involved with judges with racketeering that forced the principal sex offender not told on off campus anyway. They lied about what he confessed over the phone. They put me in jail for trying to defend myself and others from what is actually recorded. More child sex offenders then and now. My town's police chief has his daughter again, has another police chief years ago involved with the same ones, with the same houses, with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering with them. So I'm sick of asking for this stuff, and this is extortion. Of course, people don't want to read about this stuff. They want a response. Now you see Renaissance, because we have mayors retired and standing. We have other levels of politicians. There is a Luigi Guerrero. There are other people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with Rocky Hill High School, Weathersfield High School, on off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices, on and off the middle school, on and off the high school, further involved with drug racketeering and with agencies that don't really have the rights to do what they do, as is demonstrated by their roles with Trade Center racketeering, uses of racketeering inside, outside of courts connected. Now that's connected to WFSB's racketeering acts against me. I've been asking every day for since before the I've been asking for a long time, different ways since before the World Trade Center attack, to report that with Hartford courts recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering with former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, involved with racketeering with insurance police, involved with racketeering with military police, involved with racketeering with lawyers, associated also with the judges involved with them criminally now because they're not following mandated law. Now they have serious issues before them with some Fotis Doulos and Greek and other nations' police forms associated with East Hartford and their roles with locations on and off where they make airplanes, on and off that place down the street. That's down the street from where they have this Darren guy recorded, confessed, and demonstrated roles with male and female judges, self-valued roles with child sex offenders, with pretended integrity of identities, but they have no integrity of identity. These are sequence racketeering agents preventing mandated law. Their forged names and switched names roles is preventing themselves from being sued also. But I have rights for us all now with the Attorney General, and in relationship to the racketeering, also recorded uses of Facebook with Congress, uses of Adam Schiff, uses of the men and women of Congress with delusions raw, self-out. They're victim predators. They came through criminally foreign influence schools. They're victims, but they're victim predators. Now they want to fight about that. Oh, he's this, they're that. That's the way we do it. That's politics. Oh, you have to win. That's one side towards this side. Are you out of your fucking minds? Give me a mother, excuse my language. Give me response for mandated law, and give me a response for the F.C.C too with this game, because they heard they're lying about what is actually recorded. We have a database racketeering method that American history is about since before computers. These sick rolls with that, with lie progressions right to each identity of the ground further and further. They are standing lie progression cover up natures. They have to hide what is actually recorded as their natures, as we'll examine. See criminal insidious nature. I'm not even a lawyer, thank God. The bar itself and these people involved with them. They have a lawyer with a ponytail recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. See, we have the best lawyers. They're all degenerate pigs pretending other. Wicked, and try to see get them down. I'll gather around boxing. So they're playing around. They got these people involved further with the racketeering with the body dumping spot of Billy Grasso and of a serial killer. also recorded and confessed and demonstrated involved with the racketeering with the child offenders and with the medical offender roles with that, whole families of it. Now let's get them onto paper and a response. And for all the confessions they affected in my area, from they have a pond. They have, they made people make confessions through that in relationship to that. They used identity ground locations with this, now tied to the ones with untimely deaths with my new and past neighbors, because they had to have me, they pretended me to fake locations and fake relationship to a person who came into my grade when I was in fourth grade, stayed in my grade through high school, but had hung around with his cousins. I never hung around with his cousins one time. Now, though his cousins are involved with pretending other through time with a whole bunch of police into branch, whole bunch of drug clerks into branch, whole bunch of uses of them for racketeering into branch. They're stuck. They're done. Now we have a whole bunch of other nations involved with it too. These are people involved with racketeering uses of Saudi families, racketeering uses of the investigators of the World Trade Center attack as people with roles with it with other nations, as people with roles with it where they have sanctions treatments. They already can't defend that and us from what the other sides too. In other words, if you admit that, then the other side says, "Oh, you just admit it, and that's evidence." Now, here and there, they're like that stuck with all fakes, pretending other, and pretend, oh, for reasons they can't explain, not by accident. So follow mandated law. If it was really you were trying to do things legitimately, you wouldn't bring the branches of government into so much trouble like that. And you have to see how they attach everyone to fake words. They attach, I'm asking to report things online over the phone and online. They're attaching me to fake words about it, fake communications about it with people I never had communications with it about. That's how that that's how they keep delaying and using the phone racketeering method that is also locations tied. There have been racketeering used. The more and more they used and use Weathersfield Police Department for racketeering acts, the more and more, and sick acts. These are women also, women judges, white and black women judges with racketeering acts roles with Confederate flag themed and with flag themed child sex offenders, medical offenders, judicial branch offenders as the ones further involved with the on and off the campuses, on and off the Manhattan locations as the ones further involved, like an Officer Magnanos, a Stephen Manos, people associated with them, on off campuses intercity, like on the CCSU Magnet School on Franklin Avenue, further involved with a Scalora family, further involved with drug crimes and with identity thefts, fake conversations with other extended family members of the house that came in when I was in fourth grade, further with them all involved with racketeering acts with other FBI and CIA too, and with the federal criminal and with the witness protection programs, the stewards of the witness protection program, also involved with them with racketeering with the body dumping spot of Billy Grosso, also recorded involved with racketeering with that Faenza family. I don't know that sought me out for those confessions. Nothing they pretend is true. They're involved with in demonstrations of their racketeering acts roles with courts and judges and pretended they influence people into interactions because they're pretending they're doing observation surveillance legitimately, investigating things legitimately, vetting information legitimately, but they are not. So they need to hide now. And they have also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they have the sensibilities of online platforms, big companies like associated with, like, they make YouTube demonetize my videos when and how Sandy Hook, they have a woman who pretended passions and emotions against what I said with Sandy Hook, because the people from Sandy Hook were are then and now recorded and involved with the principal sex offender campus with her, and she's also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with crimes with West Hartford campuses, also involved with the ones in my town, Weathersfield, Connecticut. And note, this is where and how this is where George Washington had to come right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War, to even with the French to meet with the French general and to secure we had to leave overt slavery with color and against everyone with crazy laws entrenched in the North still. Now it's not a joke that you guys that you guys don't even realize that. And worse, you have other pretended legitimate, forced glorified. Our founders didn't have free speech. So federal communications commissions, Connecticut branches of government respond to me right here and follow and respond to me by picking one name in sequence and responding to the attorney general because that's my lawyer now, and we're going to sweep the FBI too for their roles with the AT&T. AT&T, come on, help me out. Respond for the Spada family and for the Walters family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with a whole bunch of people with judges' families, like a Della Fera family, also involved with fire departments and and with other ties to my area criminally intercampuses of each age and nature. Now get people off my name and onto paper. Let's go. At the Fox News, let's go. Let's go. Hurry up. Federal Communications.